immigrants coming over in America. I know they're being housed over in Chicago. They're being housed over in New York. And I'm not for sure, but I'm thinking Denver. But I know those two places they're being housed. Now, so many people are coming now. I was looking at some clips today where a woman went to her city council and she said that the people they were in the flood. They were flooded out. So they were being housed at a hotel, and their local government was telling them that they're no longer going to pay for their motel, but yet they're housing people who are immigrants who haven't worked in this country, who haven't paid taxes, who don't pay taxes, but they're going to house them, feed them, give them light, gas, and water, TV, and they have all these things that a lot of people don't have. I pay my own light bill. I have to pay my own gas bill. I pay my own water bill. I have to pay for my own roof over my head. And I'm sure a lot of you do too as well, whether it's a mortgage or you're renting. And some of you can't afford to rent, so we have to move together. And that is a reality for some of us. But yet, money is being found to give to people who just came across it. If I have a passport, when I go to Mexico, I have to show that passport. When I go to Canada, I have to show that passport. They put my information in, they verify, and I have to have an ID or a driver's license or a passport card. They verify that who I am, run my name, make sure that I'm not wanted before I can go into their city. I'm searched. Just like when you go on an airplane, your luggage is searched. You don't know what these people are bringing in here. We already have a lot of, we've had corona. Now people are saying that they're getting sick and they don't know what it is. I'm wondering, are these people coming from their countries or from their states, from their cities, and bringing disease, commutable diseases? This is a reality. What's really going on here? Why is it okay for them to be here and for local governments in New York, Chicago, and other places to house them when we have homeless people here? And even in California, where they go and destroy tent cities, where they're not really bothering any, and a lot of them have went off. They're under bridges. They go and they destroy these tent cities, but yet you're housing people who are illegal. That makes no sense to me. What is the plan here? What is the plan? What's the big scheme here? What do you have planned for us? A lot of people are saying they're not, it ties into voting. We put you in position and you're taking care of people that you're evicting people that did not vote, that voted for you, that believed in you, that championed you. You're putting them out. You're not funding or providing housing for them. Now, a lot of people don't want you to continue to give them housing, but help us out. Where is our help? Where is our hand up? Where is our leg up? Is what I'm asking. Where is our help? Why aren't you helping us? A lot of people have voted undecided. I'm not going to vote Democrat. I'm not going to vote Republican. I'm going to vote undecided. I understand that and I respect that. But I want to know what you think about it. Do you think that your local politicians have done right by you or is doing right by you? Do you think that the people in Chicago deserve proper housing? I mean, people are working. They're called the working poor. There used to be poor, middle class, and wealthy. Now it's the working poor. It's the poor, the working poor, lower middle class, rich, wealthy. We're working two and three jobs. We're trying to make it, and we can't not make it. Um, Laquita, come on up and talk to me. Come on up and talk. Yeah, come on up and talk, Laquita. I'm talking about what do you feel about the immigrants that have came across in America? They came across, and let me see. Hold on, Laquita. They came across here, and they're basically they're giving house. I don't mind helping nobody, but charity starts at home. Charity starts at home. Love starts at home. Why would I be helping you? Why would I be helping strangers who haven't tilled the land, they haven't put anything in here? What is the plan? What is the plan? And why are you helping others and not us? Why? I want to know. I want to know. I want to know what you think. I want to know what you think. I want to know how you feel when you have to work two and three jobs. I was a single parent at one time. I had to leave my child at home, teach my child to lock the door, don't let nobody in, and I go to work. I have to call to check on them. Sometimes my child came to my job and stayed with me while I was working. When they got out of school, I remember I was working at a store. So my child would come and come to let me get my eyes on her and make sure she's okay. They call them latchkey babies. Latchkey babies is what they were called. Latchkey babies. And that's what I had to do. And I didn't mind it. I'll do it again. I will do it again because that's my child. And that child didn't ask to come here. Okay. Now, let's take a woman. You got a mother, a father. Let's say they got two kids. You put all four of these individuals in a hotel. And I know they're doing it up in New York, and they're doing it up in, I think they're doing it in California as well, because a lot of people in California, they basically homeless because the rent was raised too high. What are you doing? They would rather put you and I out to get money from immigrants because they say that's guaranteed money. And then the crime has went up. The crime has went up. People are getting scammed out of phones. Old ladies are being attacked. People's houses are being broken. This is what's going on in New York. This is what's going on. People are having to fight back. Normal people are having to fight back because they have let the floodgates in, and people, I don't know whether their money haven't kicked in or that's just their behavior. You know, that maybe that's just their behavior where they're okay. That's just their behavior where they're just, I'm gonna take, because you can have people that have thousands of dollars in their pocket, but they'll go in the store and they'll rather steal before they buy something. That's their mentality. How would you feel? Let's say we have housing projects here. You get a letter that tells you next month you need to move or you're going to have to pay all of your rent. Say your rent $900, but you only pay maybe $300 now. What would you do? Okay, now you move, you have to move out, and maybe you and your children and your family, y'all move together and y'all pull together, and you see immigrants who don't speak English come here. They're getting a food card of $4,000 a month. They're getting housing. They're paying their light, gas, water. They're providing for them what they didn't do for you or me. And I don't know about you, but I've been working pretty much most of my life. Most of us started working when we was 15, 16, 17. But now they're saying that they can't afford to raise this. They're cutting this. They're cutting housing. They're cutting. I don't know if they're cut AFDC, but I know when I was living in the state of Massachusetts, if you had one child and you were on AFDC, aid to family children, what used to be formerly welfare, I don't know what they call it now. But if you were on it and you got pregnant, you couldn't add that baby to your check. Okay, I can respect that because if you already pregnant, get an assistant, you keep having them. We're not going to keep taking care of your children. I can respect that. But yet I'm looking back and I'm saying, why would you allow these people to come here and provide all of this for them, and we're already struggling, but you don't want to help us, but we're struggling. Somebody help me understand that. Maybe you have an answer. I really want to hear what you feel. I know what I feel, but I want to hear what you feel. America, what do you think about that? What do you think? I mean, I have. If you go look on my page here, you'll see where I put up a lady. She was addressing the council, and she was asking them, "Hey, they're saying we gotta leave. You don't want to hear me. You don't want to look at me." And I know I'm not on your list to speak because you don't want to hear, you don't want the people to know what's really going on. But this woman risked going to jail and she began to cry. And she said, "We voted for you. We put you here. Now you don't want to hear us. We put you in that position. Now you don't respect us. You don't care about us. You getting what you need. See, you wasn't in the flood. Look at the people. Look at Katrina. Look at Katrina. Look at how when Katrina hit, how they went and tried to seize the people land, saying they weren't coming back. You don't know if they're coming back. You don't know if they're going to rebuild or not. But it's still their land. They was displaced because of Katrina, Hurricane Katrina. And a lot of you went there and seized the people land, occupied it, started building on it. What kind of heart do you have to do that? That is savagery. That is thievery. That is theft to its highest. How could you do that? How can you capitalize on someone tragic? Some people lost their mothers. They lost their children. They lost their animals, their pet. They lost their home. They lost everything they had. I know my aunt was in Katrina. And they took her, and she was in Texas first. Then they moved her from Texas. She went to Arkansas. And I was in Massachusetts when this happened. But I remember getting care packages and sending them through the church down to New Orleans to try to get to the people or wherever they sent it to. But that was the plan. I remember I was going to Holyoke Community College, and they had stuff that they sent for students, and I'm like, and they had so much of them, and I'm like, hey, I could take this and send it to the people in Katrina. So they gave them to me, and I gave them to a church so that the church could get it to them. I did my part. America, what are we doing? What are we planning on doing? Do we plan to stand together and to band together, or do we want to open up our arms and say, "Come on, we welcome you"? I don't I don't mind welcoming people, but I have a problem when you take better care of them than you do of us. Because I don't know about you, but I've been working since I was in my teens, and I'm not shy to work. I'm not afraid of work. I've been working, and I know you've been working, and a lot of you are struggling. Some of you don't want welfare. You don't want food stamps. You don't want Medicaid. You're trying to do it on your own because you don't want that problem. You don't want all that added that comes with it. Because I remember applying for it, and they told me I made $8 and something an hour. They told me I made too much money that I couldn't get it. $8 an hour. So I had to do what I had to. I had to bite the bullet, and I had to. And people that were not working, they were giving them assistance. I didn't understand that. So poverty is big business. See, with immigrants coming, social workers, healthcare workers, case workers, case management, hotels, all of them are getting money. And I understand you want to keep your businesses going. I understand. But what happens when they rob you? What happens when they violate you? What happens when they break in your grandmother's house or assault your grandmother? What happens? How would you feel? We're already dealing with some things. How do you feel when you're being evicted because you were short $100, just couldn't pay it? It just didn't happen. Or you pay the rent, you pay the light bill, you can't pay the gas bill, so something got to get cut off. But you're looking at these people, the immigrants, the illegals. You're seeing them. A lot of people that maybe work in the hotels as housekeeping. You're seeing these people live better than you. They're living. How would that make you feel? That's a question. I want you to seriously give me an answer. How would you feel? I know how I would feel. I know how I felt when I was working the hotel and people looked down on me, but they didn't know I had a plan. America, do you have a plan? You better get a plan. You better get a plan for you and your family. And a lot of us are going to have to move together. We're going to have to start living with one another because we're not going to make it. We're going to have to move. Now, one thing I can say about immigrants, when they come, they all move together. They live together and they help one another. America, especially Black America, we have got to come on to get together. Else we're going to be left behind. We're going to be left behind and left out. We're going to be left behind and left out. And we cannot afford not to move together, not to band together. We cannot afford that. But I want to know, what do you feel? What do you feel about the border in Texas? About there not being a wall? Now I know the governor said he sent troops over there. I don't understand. Are they stopping the people? Are they preventing the people? What's going on? What's going on? Children are coming across without their parents. They're coming across, but there's no adult with them. What's going to happen to those children? What's going to happen? There's big business in poverty. There is big business in people being poor. What I mean by that, let's say a young lady gets pregnant. Now she needs to go to the clinic, the free clinic. She needs Medicaid, food stamp. After she has the baby, she needs housing. So that's four people that has a job. Now the baby needs medical care because the baby is a certain age. So now that's five people that got a job off of two. Then, okay, the baby needs daycare. So now there's six people. Okay. WIC, I don't know if I said WIC. So now that's seven. There's a lot of things go into one person. One young lady getting pregnant. Then she gets on a housing program. That's eight. Then she has to deal with the manager of the housing complex. That's nine. 10 would be the maintenance people. Then they say, okay, you need to work or go to school. She go to school, so that keeps the school receiving money. So now that's it goes on and on and on until she gets out of that cycle, until she does better for herself. And if she have another child, it's just kind of adds on and starts all over again. And I'm not against having children. I believe we can procreate and replenish, but it's in its proper time and its proper season. And it's in its proper perspective place. See, I can't really focus too much on immigrants coming with their kids when I see American kids suffering. When I see, and when I was younger, if something happens, the ladies would cook and she would have us to get cases of water or whatever, and we go knock on the door, and she said, we're going to take this food over there, we're going to sit it down, and we're going to leave. We're not going to ask any questions, we're not going to say anything. And we would do that. That's the love of community. America community. What are we doing? What are your thoughts? What are your plans? What are your plans? Do you feel that your local government or officials have your best interests or our best interests at heart? Or is there some type of other agenda? I want to know what are your thoughts? What are your plans? You guys get with me and let me know what you think. The discussion was on the border, immigrants, free housing, food, etc. Why can't we get a break? That working father that maybe he, was a NFL hopeful, but something happens. Maybe the young lady got pregnant and he dropped out of school to do the right thing. So he wasn't able to achieve his dream and his passion. And he's trying, but he just got so much on him. He deserves a break. That mother, that mother, that mother, that that mother, Peggy, we're just talking about, and I seriously want to know what you think. I seriously want to know what you think, because I don't want to be the only one. Everybody's opinion matter. Everybody's opinion. Hey, hey, I can't see you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh, okay. Technical issues. They're saying we got technical issues. We'll try it again. Saying that we got technical issues, but I'm gonna try to bring you up, Peggy, because I want to hear what you think. Oh, you declined. Okay. Well, you can type. You can type if you have any questions or you want to voice. You're more than welcome. But I just want to know, what think? What are we feeling? What are we really feeling? I'm just looking at, I've seen a lot of men. I even know men that were hopefuls for the NFL and the NBA, and I see them. I know one guy, he works for the city, and he's done well for himself. But can you imagine not being able to put food on the table to feed your kids? I know what that feels like. I know what it feels like to not be able to pay the rent. I know what it feels like to pay the rent but not have enough money to fill up the gas tank because I got to get to work. I know what that feels like. I know what it feels like to drive up to a store and say, "Hey, I'm trying to get to work, and I need just $2. I'll give it back. I just don't have it now, but I need this to get to because I gotta get to work and get back home." And that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go to work and I'm gonna come back home because I don't have enough money to pay the rent and to put some gas in this car to go to work. I'm just not making it. I know what it feels like to apply for food stamps and they say you make too much money. $8 and something an hour was too much money. And I'm looking and I'm saying, are you serious? But then I'm seeing this person who don't work, but you're giving them and I didn't and I understand there is a cap to everything. But there's also should be some type of leniency because you seem to have it for the immigrants. You have it for them, but you didn't have it for me. So it was like either stop working or you try come up with something else because we're not going to help you. And I remember being hurt saying, and I remember going to work, and one day my boss said, they have some food down there. You can go, get you some. I said, oh, thank you. So I go, I fix me a plate, and I also bring some food home for my children because I know there's nothing home. So that's how I ate. And there was nothing but God touching that woman's heart because I didn't tell her that I was hungry, but I was in between. I was in between paychecks. And because I was in between paychecks, I'm just trying to make it, y'all. I'm just trying to make it. And hey, I survived, but I would bring food home. And then the lady that was setting up, when I went to get food, she was like, "What you do?" I said, "Well, my boss told me that I can come." So they would have smorgasbord every day. Every day they would have it because I was working at the hospital. I was doing some data entry, and that's how I ate. And I remember those days because I was working, but I didn't have enough to pay the rent and buy food. So it was either buy food and not pay the rent. So I paid the rent because I said, God, you're gonna work it out. You're gonna work it out for me, God. And I know it's hard. And this is why I look and I'm like, my God, what are you doing? Because I know people are struggling. I know people are having it hard. And I know you feel like nobody but God is going to to send help to you. The universe is going to send help. But I know what it feels like. And this is why I'm like, they don't care about us. And 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 it's not so much about color, but then yes it is. But how could you be so heartless and so cold and not help? I did a lot of social work and counseling. That's my profession. And I would go to places and I would provide services. And I would see the people light up and hug me because I was giving them something that, number one, they couldn't afford, and now they can reach out to their family and let their family know, hey, I'm okay. I'm doing better. I'm getting well. And I love you. Forgive me. And that brought a smile on my face. And they would give me things like one lady, she had a hat, and it's not this, but she knitted it, and it was just a pretty color, and I still have it, and I wear it. And she gave it to me, and they remember me. In fact, I have some clothes I need to go take to some women um, that is too small for me, but they were given to me, so I'm going to bless them. It's time for us to be a blessing. It's time for us to be a blessing. It's not time for us to look down on one another. We need one another more than ever. I need you. You need me. Because they're not helping us, and you cannot depend on them. I don't know what they're planning on doing, but all I know is this SOS, save ourselves. America, we got to save ourselves. We have got to save ourselves. Black America, we have got to save ourselves. White America, we have got to save ourselves. They're not helping us. And you might say, I don't need help. A lot of people have lost their homes. They're closing businesses down. You're losing your job. A lot of places you call, you can't even understand what they're saying because they're foreign. Now they're coming here. And guess what? If they can pay them $7 an hour versus paying you 20, they're gonna hire them. We have got to become self-sufficient. We have got to become self-sufficient. We need one another more so than ever. Where is the church? Church, what are you doing? Are you really praying? Are you really helping? If you're not praying and not helping, we don't need you around. If you're not helping and pouring back into the people, we don't need you around. If you're just receiving and not putting back into the people, we don't need you. Because we have enough taken from us. People say their rent was $500 last year. It's $800 now. Rent was $1,000, now it's $2,000. Light bill was $30, now it's $70. Everything is increasing. We need some release. We need some help. Election time is coming. A lot of people say they're voting undecided. You're not doing and helping us. You're not looking out for us. I'm not going to look out for you. I don't believe in the lesser of two evil. Evil is evil. I don't believe in it. I don't believe in helping a country that I've never been to. Foreign countries. We need some help here. We're struggling here. We're trying to eat here. We're trying to survive here. We're trying to keep a roof over our head. We're trying to hold our families together. We're trying to eat. We're trying to pay the light bill and the gas bill and the water and everything going up. We're trying to patch up the roof and the holes in the roof. We're trying to make it. I want to know what you feel about it. America, what do you really feel about it? I need you to respond to me. I need you to talk to me. I need you to respond. I need you to talk. Let me know what you think.